Hello. So in this mini series of videos, we're looking at some of the beliefs that confident and resilient people share and how they may be impacted by the current pandemic. So that when we are talking to our children and trying to foster those beliefs within themselves, we can do it in such a way that our children not only survive this current crisis well, but they can emerge on the other side still feeling good about themselves and about their place and safety within the world. And today I want to look at two beliefs that go hand in hand. And the first is, bad things don't tend to happen to me. Now, this is a big statement, and the word bad is obviously relative. And when we're little especially, things that are relatively small in the grand scheme of things can feel enormous. So a detention or being excluded from a friendship can feel like the end of the world. But the reality is that these are things that are really uncomfortable, unpleasant, but they pass and they don't threaten our safety. And when we look at the term bad things don't tend to happen to me, what we're talking about is those big impactful events or happenings that might impact our safety or our well-being on this planet. And here in the West, we are very privileged to be able to have this belief, because for the vast majority of us, those big bad things, if I can put it like that, so violence in real terms, severe illnesses, inability to access water or food, or the fundamentals don't tend to happen to us. We live in an environment where we are very well taken care of, and we can expect to live our lives out with a certain degree of safety and comfort. Now, of course, that doesn't mean that bad things never happen to good people. Of course they do. But this leads me on to the second belief, which is that when bad things do happen, they don't tend to turn up out of the blue. And this is really important because we don't want our children or ourselves to be spending our lives looking over our shoulders, wondering about our own personal safety. The truth is that when difficult situations like these arise, we tend to have some warning. Now, as an adult, if you are in a job and you are under threat of redundancy or it's, of being fired, you tend to know that things aren't going well for you or for the company. Similarly, when friendships get shaky, you tend to have some warnings that things are feeling a little bit off. And even with this pandemic, we in the West had warning. We knew what was coming over the horizon. Now, we may not have taken it very seriously, or we may have been very panicked. But the reality is that we did have time to register, to consider, and then to take action to better prepare ourselves. And that's what's important. That understanding together that bad things don't generally happen to us. And if you look at where you're at within this pandemic, for most of us, hand on heart, even though there are things that are uncomfortable, even though there are things that are upsetting, the vast majority of us are doing okay. And that when those bad things do happen, we have some warning and we will be able to take precautions to protect ourselves better. And if our children can really understand this, then they can be confident in going about their day-to-day lives, knowing that they don't have to look over their shoulders and they can just concentrate on being happy and joyful in the moment. Because if they need to take action, they'll have fair warning. So until next time, be safe, be well, and be kind.